The house that I spent my teenage years in was just a normal, run-of-the-mill suburban house. The only thing that made it like extra special to my mom was our pool and our deck. The backyard deck spanned the entire back of the house. It wasn't just like a thing that came out, like it was like 2 decks. That's what she got really excited about and really proud of. She's like, look at my deck. It's like 2 decks. And I was always like, well, no, it constitutes as 1 deck. She's like, no, but it's the size of 2 decks. And so I was like, okay, whatever. But she loved to have a Canada Day party every year because she could set up 2 tables on her 2 decks and have more friends over. And I hated this, mostly because I didn't hate her friends, because that's a really powerful word, but I greatly disliked her friends. She had a friend named Charlene, who loved to chain smoke and was one of those people who didn't know how to use sarcasm properly. Like, you can't just say an asshole thing and be like, I'm being sarcastic. It's like, no, you're being rude. She had another friend named Pauline who had 3 loves in her life: scratch tickets, dolphin figurines, and onion dip and chips. Now, she couldn't have actual onions because she was deathly allergic to them, but onion dip was fine, which I don't understand why you just can't be an adult and say you don't like onions. She had a boyfriend who was a very nice guy. His name was Chris, and he looked like the human version of Bluto from Popeye, but like a big nerd, so it was very confusing, because he looked like he would beat himself up. Like, it was kind of weird, but he was kind of a big kid. He owned a toy store, and he had 3 friends that he always had around, which I can't remember their names, but if I say that they were Cletus, Ronnie, and Billy Bob, you can kind of get an understanding of how they were. And I know you're like, what, Canada doesn't have like redneck people? No, these guys are really special. Now, this Canada Day, they wanted me to stay and hang out. But see, I hate sing-alongs to Stompin' Tom. I know, I'm sorry, I just hate it. And I don't like hanging out with my parents because I was a teenager. And this year especially, they tried to entice me because they spent over $2,000 in fireworks. And as a teenager, I was like just getting angry because I'm like, you guys really don't get me. So I stormed out and I left for the day. So I came back towards the night, and it seemed eerily quiet back there. I saw that my mom's friends, Pauline and Charlene, had gone because their cars weren't there. So I walked into the house and noticed nobody was there. I couldn't even hear people talking. But I could hear music playing in the back, so I knew they were there. So when I walked out back, I saw my mom's boyfriend and his friends completely passed out. Like, they looked dead, but I could tell that they were still alive because they had beer bellies that looked pregnant. So they kept, they were breathing. So it was like 6 months, 9 months, 6 months, 9 months, 6 months, 9 months. So they were okay. I went upstairs, I checked my mom. She was completely passed out. And so then I came back downstairs and did what any teenager would do. I cracked open a Mike's Hard Lemonade. Don't judge me, because when you're underage drinking, that's awesome. It's like pop. So I'm just sitting back there with these passed out men, a ton of tall cans, until my eyes focused on a massive mound of fireworks that weren't let off. Oh, yeah. And I thought to myself, like, let's use logic here, right? Fireworks don't last a year, so these are going to expire. So somebody should set these off, right? But I would be killed if I started setting fireworks off by myself. But I was like, well, I could try and see. So I got 1 cherry bomb at first, and I lit it, and I threw it right beside my mom's drunken, passed out boyfriend and his friends, and it went off, and they didn't even move. Like, I jumped, And so I was like, okay. So I got like a Roman candle, and I held it, being daring, and set it off right beside them. And all of a sudden, it was like boom, 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 boom. They didn't even move. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So I went and I grabbed all the fireworks, like it looked like a bouquet of death that I was bringing over to the deck, and I started lighting them off. It was ridiculous. There was like huge like bangs and pops and smokes and things that were like lighting on the ground and like making screaming noises. There was one that did a big kaboom that I didn't think I could do that because only you see it at Disneyland shit. So I was like, whoa! I was having the time of my life, and the entire time, no yelling. Nobody caught me. I was having like so much fun. I'm surprised the police weren't called because it was like $2,000 for the fireworks. I was real proud of myself. Until the smoke cleared and I saw what I had done to my mother's deck. It looked like a dragon had come down and sneezed on it. It was completely destroyed, and it's quite a large deck, so it was quite a lot of damage. Thank God there was a pool next to me because I, put out the parts that were on fire still. And I had looked at what I had done, and I was like, oh, okay. This is a very serious situation, a panic sort of situation. So what did I do? I panicked. I started running around and screaming because I was like, I'm going to die. Oh, my God, I'm going to die. Like, this is how I died. I thought I would go down a lot more heroic than this, but this is how it's going to happen. So I sat there and I calmed myself down and I started to think, what should I do? What should I do? And I remembered that my dad had told me that he was coming back late from Niagara Falls so he could stop in and grab me. I was in Burlington at the time. So I called him up. He's like, yeah, I'll be there in 45 minutes. And I'm like, perfect. I can just pack all my stuff, go live in Barrie with him, start a new life. I can start fresh in September. I can get new friends. I've done it before. I'll do it again, and that's just how it will be. So I packed some clothes. I packed what I needed, and I waited for my dad. But then I had an idea, which was just so stupid. I went back outside and took all the lighters and matches I could find and put them in my mother's boyfriend's hands and his friend's hands. And just to make sure to drive the point home to possibly get out of this, I took some of the empty Roman candle things and stuck them in the other hands. And I'm like, that'll do. And I packed my stuff and I decided to live my new life in Barrie. So my dad picked me up. I got into his car before he even stopped, and he's like, oh, why do you smell like fireworks? And the first thing I said was parade. And he was like, okay, and I knew just to change the subject really quick. Being like, what'd you guys buy? Niagara Falls. Like, I was Buffalo. Chicken wings? Like, what? And so we went, and the entire weekend that I was at my dad's, every time the phone rang, my heart just stopped. I was like, this is it. But nothing ever came. My dad never said, Rhiannon, come here. Nothing happened. And so then when it was time to go home, and I realized I don't want to live with my stepmom, I'll just take my chances and go back home. I went back, and I walked into the house, and it was quiet again. But like an eerie quiet. I was like, Mom. She wasn't there, but I could hear faint voices outside in the back. So I was like, oh, here we go. So I walked to the back, and I opened up the back door, and I looked outside, and I saw my mom's boyfriend and his friends rebuilding and painting the deck. And my mom comes in, and she's like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, oh, no. So she comes up to me, she's like, you will not believe what Chris and his friends did. They burnt down my deck. I woke up the next day and I was like, what the hell? They were so drunk they don't remember anything. And I was like, oh my God, seriously? She's like, yeah, they've been out there all weekend. And I went and I peeked out and they looked so embarrassed and so ashamed. my heart sank. I was like, oh. I have to do something. And so I went out back and I was like, can I get you guys a beer? Thank you so much.